Hey, what's up everyone? Adam here with brahwegotthis, and today I am bringing you guys a beginner crafting video. Now, I made a video last year on this topic, but it's pretty outdated, and I wanted to make an updated one for all the new players coming into the Elder Scrolls Online from the Greymoor expansion. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go through all the basics of crafting to help you understand this insanely big skill or, just skill lines that are all involved in it. And I'm going to try to help you guys understand every single profession and how to get started and what the mechanics of crafting are. Before we get started, I do want to mention again that I play live on twitch.tv/brahwegotthis on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find that link in the description. I will not be streaming this week, however, because I'm on vacation. It's been a family vacation plan, so I'm enjoying the sun right now, and I will be back, though, next week, full force with streaming. You can also join our Discord and our guild in the links below. Our Discord is the Brahwegotthis, our guild is the Necrodaddies. We have a bunch of new and veteran players in there. If you're new, please join and let us know, and we will help you out. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram and Twitter. All the social links are in the description as well. But let's go ahead and get into crafting. So when we get into crafting, if you are on a new character, you're going to see that there's a board right here in your starting zone. So for Ultimate Dominion, it's going to be Aradon. For Daggerfall Covenant, you can go to Daggerfall right here in Glenumbra. If you're an Ebonheart Pact, you can go to Stonefalls and go into Davin's Watch. I'm almost positive that they are in the starting expansion zones as well. So if you started out on Greymoor, Western Skyrim will be up here. There'll probably be crafting certifications that you can do there. But the first thing you can do is you can come to the Equipment Crafting Writs board, which is right here. And like I said, it's going to be in other cities for other starting zones. You can examine it. Like I've already gotten the quest. But basically you click through the options, and then you will have under the crafting tab, you'll have the crafting certification. So it says master crafters are offered free training and certification in their professions. Crafting certification will allow me to fulfill crafting writs. I should speak with Millenith to be crafted with those, to be certified with those. And if I want to be certified in these, I should speak with Danelle. So for these certifications, you just go up to the person here. You'll see that Millenith is in here. She likes hanging out in the Fighters Guild. You go over to her, and she'll give you the options to be certified. So you can say, I'm ready to be certified, complete quests, tell me about this, this, and this. So basically, all you have to do for that is get her items and make an item for her. And what that allows you to do is it lets you do crafting writs, which are daily quests that you can do each day. Now, I'm going to talk more about those crafting writs later in the video and what they entail, but just keep that in mind right there. So if you want to also get the jewelry crafting certification, if you've got the Somerset DLC or ESO Plus, you can come to Alanor. So if you look here, I'm in Alanor in Somerset. You can talk to fellow Rian, and you can talk to him about getting a jewelry crafting certification. So that's how you get that skill. And as you see, it says you have to acquire pewter dust and make a ring for him. And that's basically, again, what every single certification is going to be like. And when you do that, you will unlock crafting writs. So once you've gotten your certifications, that is the first thing, like I said, that you should do if you are a new player. That way you can start doing writs. We're going to now go into every single profession and basically explain what they are. And then we're going to go into the actual crafting screen. So we'll start off with alchemy. Alchemy is where you make potions, you make poisons. These are things that can allow you to do more damage in battle, can allow you to, again, poison weapons and heal you, give you magicka, give you stamina. These are very important for the end game. Next is woodworking. This is one of the three main crafting skills. So with this, you're going to be able to create staves, bows, and shields. With blacksmithing, this is going to be creating heavy armor for you, and all the melee weapons like axes, maces, swords, battle axe, mauls, great swords, and daggers, and then all of your heavy armor as well. Provisioning is going to be making buff food or drinks. These are things that will give you an extended buff of health, magicka, and stamina for your characters for an hour, 2 hours, you name it. These are also very important for the end game, especially like Longfin pasty with melon sauce. It's used for a lot of in-game magicka characters. It says increases max health by 4,462 and max magicka and max stamina by 4,105. This is something that, is something you will need when you do trials and dungeons and all that good stuff. Next is clothing. Clothing is for medium and light armor, so you can create all the medium and light armor in the game right here. And let me tell you, not like every single piece of medium and light armor, but just like the ones that are craftable. Like you're not able to craft trial sets or dungeon sets or anything like that. Next is jewelry crafting. This is, again, if you have the Somerset DLC or ESO Plus, this is creating jewelry. So you'll be able to create rings and necklaces. Then you have enchanting. This will allow you to create glyphs of armor, weapon, jewelry, and what that does is that is what you see on your armor when it says, so for False God's Robe, it says maximum magicka enchantment, adds 938 maximum magicka. That's an enchant. That's from enchanting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the actual skill screens. Down here, you'll see the crafting skill lines. I'm not going to go into every single one because they are all basically the same when it comes to the general professions like blacksmithing, clothing, jewelry crafting, and woodworking. But I'll go into one of those, and I'll go into an alchemy or provisioning skill line as well. I'm going to explain all of it, and then we're going to go actually into the crafting interface. So let's just go through blacksmithing. So what you'll see with blacksmithing is you have all of these points that you can put into it. You have metalworking, which allows the use of rubidite ingots. So that's the max armor or like resource that you'll be able to find in the world. If you don't have this maxed out, you're not going to be able to use rubidite ingots, okay? So this is going to start at 1, obviously, and you're going to have to put skill points into this. This is one of the first things that you want to work on when you upgrade your crafting. So if I had to rank all of these skill nodes, I would do metalworking, I would do metallurgy, I would do metal extraction, I would do hireling, temper expertise, then keen eye. Okay, so metalworking is basically just allows you to use the highest, resource available for you. So this is something you want to focus on. Keen eye, all this does is it makes ore in the world, like all the crafting nodes, it makes all of them easier to see when you're 40 meters closer if you have it maxed out. This is something I would prioritize last. You don't need this, okay? Your skill points are going to be very scarce when you're starting out, and if you do all the quests and all that stuff, you're going to have a lot of skill points, but you are still going to need a lot to put into every single craft. This is my main character, and I have every single thing maxed out, but I've done almost every quest in the game. So just keep that in mind that this is something that I would prioritize last. Hireling, this is something that will come to you in your mail every day. It'll get you resources and other mats, and it'll get you better ones the more you have it maxed out. Next is metal extraction. This maximizes the chance of extracting blacksmithing ingredients and allows the refining of the most powerful tempers from raw materials. This gives you more resources back when you extract or deconstruct items, and we will get into that in just a second, but this is very important. That's why this is one of the top ones you should focus on. Metallurgy reduces your research times by 25% and limits the time to 30 days, and it allows you to research up to 3 items at once. This, again, is very important, so definitely put skill points into this. We will go over this here a little later. Temper expertise more than doubles the chances to improve items with tempers. This is something, again, that's probably the second or third least most important thing at first when you are new, because you're not going to be improving things immediately. You're just not. You're not going to have the levels. You're not going to have the resources to do this. Okay? So that's what these skill lines look like. And in order to increase this, you have to basically create items or deconstruct items. It's the same thing with clothing. You have the same exact nodes. They're just different. They're just named differently. You have the same thing with jewelry crafting for the most part, just named differently, like I said. You've got the same thing with woodworking. So provisioning is a little different. This one allows the use of different rarities of recipes. So the gold recipes, it just allows you to use like the most rare recipes. Recipe improvement allows you to make recipes up to champion 150 recipes. So that's basically the first node in blacksmithing right here. It's just the second one here. Gourmand, connoisseur are both the same. One's for drinks, one's for food. It adds 20 minutes to the duration of any eaten food. So that's a nice passive to have. Chef, it creates 3 extra servings for each food recipe. And brewer is the same thing, just for drinks. So normally, if you create a recipe, you only have 1. But if you have chef and brewer maxed out, you'll create 4 instead of 1. Hireling, again, is just a hireling. So alchemy is basically the exact same thing. You've got solvent proficiencies, which allows you to use the highest level potions. You got keen eye. You got medicinal use, which lets the effects last longer, like in provisioning. You've got chemistry, which produces extra potions. Laboratory use, which allows you to use 3 reagents at once, which are ingredients. And you've got snake blood, which reduces the negative effects in potions by 100% when consumed. So that's what you have there. Enchanting, again, it's pretty simple. Hireling, keen eye. You have the extraction one. You have the ability to use higher level runes, and you have the rarity, like in provisioning. So let's actually dive into the crafting table and explain to you what you're actually looking at. So you first have the refine tab. This is where you will refine raw materials into usable materials to be made. You have to have 10 to be able to refine. See, it says minimum of 10. So if I want to refine these malachite shards, I press R to refine, and I refined, and I got 2 malachite shards. You can't see it. I'm going to turn that off. You got 2 malachite shards, okay? Rough maple, refine. I got 17 sanded maple. I get some turpin and some citrine. These, again, are from some of the passives that I have in the skill nodes. Rough oak, refine. 10 sanded oak. Rough ruby ash. There's a lot, 691. I get 5 rosin, which are the upgrade mats. Mastic, turpin, pitch, 602 sanded ruby ash. That's amazing. That's because I have passives in those skill nodes that I was talking to you guys about. So this is where you refine all the raw stuff you get. So all the stuff you harvest in the world or you pick up or stuff like that. Here is the creation tab, okay? Here's where you'll see every single thing you can create in a crafting skill line. So for woodworking, again, we have bows and staves. We also have a shield that we can make as well. So in the bow one, you'll see this. It's the same for every single thing. So it just applies for every single item. You've got all the resources that you can craft, right? And this is what I was talking to you about with the first node in the skill line that allows you to create or use higher level mats. So this is the most basic mat for woodworking, sanded maple. What you can do for each one is you'll see that it scales from level 1 to 14. So if I use 3 sanded maple, it's going to be level 1. If I use 4 sanded maple, it's going to be level 4. 5 is level 6, 6 is level 8, 7 is level 10, 8 is level 12, 9 is 14. Okay, I go to the next one. 4 is 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. You'll see the level range right here above your actual resource, and it goes on and on and on towards every single one. So you got sanded beech, sanded hickory, sanded yew, sanded birch, sanded ash, sanded mahogany, sanded nightwood, and sanded ruby ash. This is the max resource for woodworking, okay? Now, this is something a little more in depth, but when you get to CP 150 or CP 160, you're going to get into the actual in-game gear level cap. So CP 160 is the in-game gear level cap. So what you'll notice here is this, to make CP 150 requires 12 sanded ruby ash. If I bump that up once to 160, it goes to 120 sanded ruby ash. That is because this is the max gear cap, and that is the desired level for armor. So that's why you're going to be using a lot more resources right here. Next, what you'll see is you'll see the styles, okay? These are all the known styles that you actually know. So you learn styles by consuming the motif pages or motif books for the said styles. So the first 9 you'll see are the 9 basic racial styles. Goes all the way to Khajiit. And then you have ones that you've learned. These are all where you can create the different styles. Just a side note about this, since there are transmogs in the game, these don't really matter in a sense unless you are creating master writs where you have to create a specific style. And I don't know if I'll touch on that as much. I have a master writ video that you guys can check out in the description, but this is not going to matter too much unless you for some reason don't have the gold to transmog stuff, because some of these resources are going to cost you money anyways, because you have to have this resource to craft the Sapiarch style. So if I have no Tenebrous cord for Ebon Shadow, I can't create that style. But at any time in the outfit styles tab or the outfit station, which is over here. So if I go to the outfit station, if I know the style, so if I go to bows, oh, I have a staff on right now, but if I had bows, I could go to the style there. Let's say if I want to go to armor. So for the Mazzotin jerkin, if I wanted to just transmog this, I could just apply it. It's going to cost 1,000 gold, okay? But I can just apply it right there. I don't actually have to craft that exact style to show that on my character. You can if you want. You most definitely can without having to transmog. But that's what the transmog system is there for, so you don't have to do that. So I just want to mention that these are how you create the different styles. But in reality, if you're going to transmog your character, just create a basic style because it's going to look different anyways. So don't worry about it. Okay, next you have the trait. These are very important. These are what allows you to have the different abilities on your weapons, like precise, charged, infused, defending, training, sharpened, decisive, Nernholm. Okay, it has to do with researching, and I'm going to get to that here in a second. But in order to create the different traits, you have to have the trait item, and you have to have that trait researched on each single item. Okay, again, we're going to get into that in just a second. We're going to go through deconstruction real quick. Deconstruction, this is where you break down all your items that you get. So you can click multiple ones. So those are all the ones I want to do. I don't want to deconstruct that. You press R. You say accept. You'll get resources back. The higher your deconstruction passive is in your skill node, the better the items you're going to get back are. So you're going to get better resins. You're going to get better mats back. You're going to get more mats back. So keep that in mind when you do that. Now, I do want to mention that when you deconstruct, you want to always deconstruct intricate items. Intricate items are items that give you way more mats back and they give you way more crafting inspiration or experience. Okay? The opposite of intricate is ornate, and you'll see this item right here. These are items that you want to sell to merchants. It says increases the item's sell price by 280%. So you want to sell these to merchants because look at this. If I sold this is like 58 gold. If I sell that, that's 216 gold. So you want to sell ornate items. You want to deconstruct intricate items. Okay, the intricate item will be like a little infinity symbol sort of, and it will allow you to get a lot more mads and a lot more experience back. Now, I'm going to skip the improvement tab and go to the research tab real quick. I'm going to get back to the improvement tab. The research tab is what I was talking about with traits. As you see on this bow, I have researched every single trait. When you start out, you're going to only be able to research one item per profession. So only one item for woodworking. Okay, so the research symbol, again, is going to be the little magnifying glass that you see on an item. You're going to have that on every single item, basically, when you start out. The reason you want to upgrade your node to that eventually is then it'll allow you to research 3 things at once on one profession. The reason this is important is the first time you research an item, it's going to be like an hour of real time. Okay, like literally an hour. It's not game time. It's an hour of real time. The more traits you have to research on an item, so once you go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, that is going to increase substantially. Eventually, the last researchable item is going to be 30 real days, so a month, okay? So please, guys and gals, start researching immediately. I say this in every single video. I really do. I say it in every single video. Research every item you can, when you can, on at least one character. You don't have to do it on every character. Do it on one character because it's important, okay? It's important to start it because if you don't do that, you can't create items, you can't do master writs, you can't create set items, you can't transmute items, and we'll talk about all of that here at the end of the video. But that's why it's important because you've got to do it on every single item. If you research a charged bow, it doesn't give you a charged Inferno staff. You've got to research a charged Inferno staff as well. So let's go to the improvement tab. The improvement tab is where you make items from white to green to blue to purple to yellow. This is what I was talking about before with resin expertise. So they're called resins. So if you go to the woodworking tab right here, resin expertise, more than doubles the chance to improve items with resins. This is something you don't need to worry about immediately because you're not going to be doing this when you're level 40. You're going to be doing this after your CP 160, and even then you're probably going to have people do it for you. This is where you basically take something. You have to, if you decrease the chance, you have a 25% chance, but don't ever do that. I always do 100%. And because if you mess up, it consumes the item and it's gone. And I'm telling you, you don't want to do that. So basically, from white to green, you use each of the resins for each crafting profession. Then green to blue, blue to purple, purple to yellow. You never want to increase to yellow unless it is a weapon that is above 160 CP that you're going to use a while. The armor can stay at purple for a while unless you want to really do it to yellow, but really it should just stay at purple. And jewelry really should never be upgraded to yellow because it's just insanely expensive. If I wanted to go to the jewelry crafting tab here and I wanted to improve something, for me to go from white to yellow, it's going to cost me over 400k gold on each jewelry piece. So just don't do that. Okay, I'm telling you, it's not worth it. But that's what resins are. And you'll see that in resins, okay, in my craft bag here, which I'll tell you about here in a second, you'll see for blacksmithing, the gold resin is tempering alloys. That increases things to gold. And like you see, it's 4.7k per resin. That's a lot. Your clothing gold one is Drew Wax, which is 7.3k per resource. You got rosin for woodworking, which is 2.2k. So again, it's not cheap, guys. The last tab is blueprints. This is just how you create furniture of all the different furniture pieces that you've learned through, plans and all that stuff. This is pretty in depth, and I go more into this in my housing video, but this is just like where you can create different types of furniture. So the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is, after you get certified, and like I said, you can get crafting writs, you can go to any of the cities and they're going to have the daily crafting writ boards. They're going to be this blue icon. You can do these every day. Like I said, they'll be on a timer, and you can grab all of them from the board and you can get them done. And I'll talk about the add-on that just allowed me to do that here a little later. But basically, you grab those crafting writs and you're able to do them. When you hit level 50 in your respective crafting professions, not level 50 as a character, but level 50 in your crafting professions, you're going to be able to do master crafting writs. Now, they're going to still be the same. These are still normal writs, okay? These are still normal writs, but when you turn them in, so I'll kind of just go through what you need to do. So if you go to the enchanting table, you'll do your enchanting writ, okay? And again, I have an add-on that allows me to do these automatically on PC. I'll kind of go over some add-ons here at the end of the video, but you'll see that they're going to be automatically created. But as you see, I'm completing the writs. I'm turning them in the boxes right here. I always recommend doing Alanor. Alanor is a great place. Oh my God, stop trying to steal. I'm not a thief. And as you'll see, you will turn these in and you will get items for it. Now let's actually see if I got anything. I got this. You see this right here, sealed alchemy writ. This is a master writ now, okay? What I just did was a normal writ at level 50, but you cannot get these master writs unless you are level 50 in your crafting professions. So for my alchemy one, I turned it in and I got a sealed alchemy writ. So if I consume this, it will be a quest. I have to make a damage, health, poison 9 with the following properties: increase weapon power, speed, ravage, health. It gives me 2 writ vouchers. What those vouchers are used for is you can turn them into the Master Writ Merchant for different items for housing, motifs, target dummies, just all kinds of stuff that are worth gold and just cool cosmetics. I have a Master Writ video. I will link in the description if you guys want to watch that. But that's why you want to do crafting writs at level 50 in your professions. So some methods to leveling crafting. There's multiple things you can do about this. If you're a new player and you're just loving crafting and you don't really want to level or anything like that, like your actual character level, you can always buy intricate items off guild traders. You can always buy them off players, and that will be the fastest way to grind your crafting professions up. If it's enchanting, you could buy purple enchants. If it's jewelry, you can buy white jewelry that have the intricate symbol on it that are platinum. You always want to try to buy the highest level matte, though, because that will give you the most experience. But if you're a new player, guys, I would just quest and level and play the game. You're going to increase these skills passively if you do that. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go out and quest, get a full inventory, and come to a merchant and just sell all your items. Only sell your ornate items, okay? Deconstruct and research the rest. Research everything that you can. Put some items in your bank that is researchable to save for the next day. But deconstruct everything, guys, because if you do that, You're going to literally play the game, you're going to quest, you're going to level, you're going to increase your knowledge of the game, yet you're also going to passively deconstruct things. It doesn't take that long. All you got to do is teleport to a big city and deconstruct items. It's going to level your crafting up that way without you having to spend any money at all. So that's what I would recommend doing if you want to level these professions. And then just make sure, again, to always research. Now, some things that can make your life a little easier are add-ons if you're on PC. I didn't really talk about this at the beginning because, again, if you're not on PC, you don't have these. But some add-ons that you can use for crafting that can help are, you can use Craft Store, which shows you all of your researchable items. So if you look here, it shows every single one that I know. So all the X's are the items that I don't have research for that trait. It shows all your other characters as well. It shows you all the motifs that you know on all your characters. It shows everything, guys, everything. Then you have Lazy Set Crafter, Lazy Writ Crafter. These will craft all your writs for you and sets for you and all that stuff. The Writ Crafter is amazing, and I definitely recommend getting this. Writ Worthy allows you to see master writ stuff. You don't really need to worry about that too much at first. And so, yeah, those are some good add-ons. The other tips that I would give you is if you get surveys. So if you get these things, so that's treasure map, clothier survey. I honestly would wait until your CP 160, because if you wait till your CP 160, you're going to go do that survey, and it's going to give you a bonus amount of resources. That's what surveys are. It gives you like 200 resources of whatever it is. So if it's clothing, I'll get like 100 Rubido leather and 100 Ancestor silk. But if you do it at level 20 clothing, you're going to get the lower level mats. You can do this if you'd like, but those mats, you know, again, are going to be for lower level mats. You can use those for training armor and stuff like that for other characters. But if you're running out of inventory space, do them. I understand it. And another tip I want to talk to you guys about is the set crafting tables, okay? So right here, you'll see Adept Rider. Okay, I'm just going to use this for an example. I don't know what this set is. I've never used this set. When I was talking to you guys about researching, the reason researching is also very important is because in order to create set items, so set items in the overland, you see that it says you have to have 3 traits required to craft this set. That means that every item that you create in the set, so if you create a whole piece of armor set for it, or if you create weapons, you have to have 3 traits researched on those weapons, no matter what. That doesn't have to be a specific trait. It just needs to be 3 traits on the weapons and armor to craft this set. Some of these sets take 5. Some of them take 6. Some of them take 8. Some of them take even 9. If you look at Southern Elsewhere, New Moon Acolyte takes 9 traits to create this set. 9. So that means you have to have every single trait researched in order to make an item. Again, you don't have to have every single clothing item researched in 9. It's just the ones that you're creating. But that's still important. So that's why researching is important, because there's a lot of overland sets that are used for beginner in-game builds that some people have. They're used for other in-game builds. They're used for master crafting writs. So it's important to research. And the last tip I was going to talk to you guys about is the ESO Plus craft bag. This is the #1 reason why I have ESO Plus getting all the DLCs. I have an ESO Plus video that I can link in the description if you want to see if it's worth it. But this thing is amazing, guys. If you do not have this, you're going to have all of these resources in your inventory or bank. This is an unlimited bag of resources that allows you to basically just stack all of your crafting resources, all your mats, all your resins, everything in this bag. I highly recommend checking out ESO Plus. If you're new, definitely play the game a little bit and see if you like it. But if you're not, guys, I can't tell you how much I recommend this, because it is something that is just so helpful for crafting, and it makes your life so much easier. So that's it, guys. That is the beginner crafting guide. I tried to cover every single thing that I could think of when it comes to beginners. If you guys need any other help with this, if you have any other questions, again, make sure to stop by my Twitch chat, twitch.tv/brahwegotthis, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. You can ask questions there. You can always join the Discord, our guild. We will always help you out. You can leave comments in the comment section, okay? I'll try to get to those as best I can, but the Discord and the Twitch links are in the description. Again, this is an updated video from my last one. I have a master crafting video that I will update as well eventually. But again, I hope that this helped you all out, and I hope that it will help you as you put your first step forward into the Greymoor expansion. And make sure to like, subscribe, heavy attack that bell icon, share the video if you guys like the content, and that way you're updated when I release new content. But just remember, guys, have faith, be great, and I'll see you guys on ESO.